Hello again, lovely friends. It's Nikki here and welcome to another Paint With Me video. This time I will be doing a voiceover because a lot of people on my last video where there wasn't a voiceover said that they missed it, which I don't understand because mostly I just talk a right load of rubbish. But yeah, I thought I'd give the people what they want and do another voiceover. So this painting is basically a bit of an experiment. I did a piece very similar to this on my iPad using Procreate, and I hadn't really done much actual traditional painting in a while, and I just thought, I know, I'll see if I can do something similar and achieve similar results but in traditional medium. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I love working wet on wet. It's something that I've only just started doing, but it's so much fun. You have basically no control, which is somewhat challenging for me because I'm a massive control freak, but ultimately the weird and wonderful and natural textures, like the way the wet green on the wet orange made this like weird splotchy, almost moldy texture, I actually really enjoyed. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. That's pretty much all I'm gonna say on the actual painting, because I wanted to get into some sort of life updates. I've been really quiet on social media recently, which is because if you saw in my last studio vlog, I'm now back in the office with my day job, and yeah, didn't expect it, but I'm now absolutely knackered pretty much all of the time. So I just haven't had time to really create much art, so therefore I haven't really had anything to show, and I always feel like if I don't have anything substantial to speak about or to show on Instagram, then it's probably better off to just not show anything. So like I said, I'm back in the office full time, which I was extremely, and I'm still quite anxious about, simply because I'm actually today, the day I'm recording this voiceover, I'm about to get my second jab, so not fully vaccinated, and other people are fully vaccinated and are not obviously as scared of getting close to people in the office as I am, so there's been a couple of times I've just had to sort of shuffle away from someone where they've come to ask me a question and they've just got a little bit too close. But yeah, I was really nervous about it. I really didn't want to go back in the office for many reasons. The main one being COVID, obviously, and fear of catching it, fear of passing it on to someone, fear that it would then prevent me from getting my second jab, because I know if you've had COVID within the 4 weeks of getting your jab, they basically won't give you it. So I was really scared that my whole timeline of being able to do more normal things would be completely ruined because of going back into the office. The other thing that I was super nervous about was just being around people, because the last year and a half it's just been like me on my own in a room doing my job, and if someone annoyed me in an email, I could swear and scream in the safety of my little studio without anyone knowing. And I was scared that going back into the office, if I got stressed and snippy, that, because that's kind of been a problem for me before, where I've got kind of stressed and snippy at people and I've kind of been told off for it. So I was a bit afraid of that because I'm kind of a stress head at the best of times. And yeah, I think just not being around people for a year and a half made me really, 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 really scared of people. I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but my anxiety, my specific brand of anxiety is social anxiety. So as well as all the normal anxiety things, like worrying about literally anything that can go wrong in any given situation, I also, if I'm gonna go and see friends, if I have to speak to someone on the phone that I've never spoken to before, if there's even a chance of me having to be in a social situation, my anxiety spikes like nothing you've ever seen. It's horrific. I want to say it's probably the reason I don't have a lot of friends. Like, I have a couple really good friends, but I don't have a large friendship group at all. The majority of the people that I know are because of Colin, because they're his friends, and like basically my whole life I haven't had a large group of friends, and I've never really been that bothered about it. And I genuinely think it's because I'm terrified of people, and the thought of having to interact with a person that I've never spoken to or met before absolutely terrifies me. So doing these gallery things and exhibitions and having to speak to gallery owners and cafe owners and exhibition organisers, even if it's just a DM on Instagram, has been really stressful. And going into an office environment, you can't get away from the people. They're constantly around you. So if you're having kind of a bad day and you don't really want to speak to anyone, I mean, you can't. Basically, you have to speak to people. And I find that really hard as someone who is quite introverted. So yeah, those were the main reasons for me being terrified of going back to work. I found out like a week before I had to go back in, and I felt sick the entire week. Didn't really sleep, and just had this awful feeling of dread inside me. And then I went back. So I was starting on the Monday, I went back the Friday before to take my computer back and like other bits, and just to sort of get accustomed to the building again. And it was really nice because there was only like 3 other people in the office at the time. And yeah, I'm glad I did that, because I think if I'd have gone in on the Monday with all my gear and there being loads of other people there as well, I think that would have been super overwhelming. So I'm really glad that I did that. I'm glad that I've gone back as well, because actually I found that even though being around people all day, having to speak to people, just being in the presence of other human beings absolutely knackers me out. Even though that is the case, I have really enjoyed being around other people. And I think even though I have social anxiety and I'm really scared of people, I think all human beings have a certain need for like social interaction. And I think even despite the fact that I don't really like people and I'm quite scared of them, I do need a bit of social interaction. So I have actually found that since I've been back at work, I've not been as kind of depressed. Like, I was getting really down in the dumps before I went back, and I was getting really fed up. And now I think about it, I think it's probably because I was just on my own all day and I didn't really leave the house apart from to go for walks occasionally. And yeah, there's something about having a routine, getting up, getting dressed, getting in the car, driving to work. There's something about that routine that is quite therapeutic to me. I don't know if it's like a sense of order or yeah, just the routine of it and doing the same thing at the same time every day. I don't know, but yeah, I was extremely surprised when I realised how much I'd actually missed having that routine and being in the office and stuff. So yeah, I was really worried about it, but I guess I needn't have been, because it turns out that it's fine. And I haven't caught COVID yet or been pinged by the NHS app, so I think I've done quite well. So yeah, that's the main big change in my life at the minute. Something that I was really scared of, and something that's actually turned out to be fine, which is awesome, because I hate it when I'm dreading something and then it's actually horrible and I'm like, well, I was right. I'd much rather be wrong about things like that. But yeah, like I mentioned, it has made me super tired, and I've, like I mentioned, barely had any time to create art, sketch or anything. And for the past month or so, I'd been doing these Twitch streams on a Thursday night, and I was worried that I wouldn't be able to continue them after I went back into the office, but I was like, no, I'm going to keep trying, I'm going to do my best, I'm going to do my Twitch streams, because it was something that I did enjoy doing. But I found that since I've been back in the office and I have been so tired, it's just been something that I've really dreaded. And it's not that I don't enjoy the streams once I'm doing them, but I don't know if it's like a confidence thing. It's only 2 hours a week that I do, but because not a lot of people were tuning in and watching and getting involved in the chat, it did kind of feel like I was just talking to myself for 2 hours. And I don't know if this might come as a surprise, but I don't have that much to say. I'm not that interesting, really. So I was doing these like sort of icebreaker question things. And it was all just a bit, I wasn't really happy with the things that I was saying. And the problem with the live stream is that you can't edit. So one of my things that I do is I'll start saying something, halfway through the sentence, I'll realise this sentence isn't going anywhere, and I thought I was making a point, but I'm not really making a point, and actually I just sound kind of stupid. And in a YouTube video, I can just edit that out, so you will never know that I started saying some absolute crap about nothing. You'll never know because I just edit that out. However, when you're doing a live stream, you can't edit that out. So if I start with a train of thought that is going nowhere, I basically have to go, oh, okay, that point didn't make any sense, let's carry on. And I'm sure people weren't judging me about it. Like, I'm sure people were just like, oh, okay, that's fine, that's like quite normal. I was so embarrassed, and that kept happening to me. Like, I kept just starting off on a tangent about something and then realising that I wasn't making any sense. And I think it's because my brain goes at about 5 bajillion miles an hour. So, and there's probably about 5 bajillion thoughts going around in my head at any given time. So trying to, in real time, collect all those thoughts together at the speed that they're going and put them into a nice line and straighten them out so I know what I want to say and what I'm actually thinking is almost impossible. And I guess because I'd never had to speak at that length before without anyone else really having any input, I didn't realise how bad that was. But yeah, it's pretty much a nightmare, and I was finding myself like just getting completely lost in my train of thought and darting around subjects and starting talking about one thing and then ended up talking about something completely different and forgetting what I was originally talking about, but not being able to just like, oh, I'll just look back on the footage and see what I was talking about and take over from there. You can't do that on a live stream. And this was something that I kind of figured might happen, I guess, like that I might not really be comfortable talking for 2 hours. And that was fine when I wasn't absolutely knackered, but then take into account the fact that when I was back in the office, I was really tired and I was yawning on stream and I was clearly tired. Like, I was watching bits back and I was like, I look like I don't want to be here. I'm not making any sense because I can't gather my thoughts because it's hard at the best of times and I'm also super tired. And yeah, it was something that I came to dread because I was like embarrassed about it, and I was like, oh, people probably think I'm really stupid, or they probably think that I don't have anything interesting to say, or maybe they think I'm really like vapid or shallow because of the things that I'm saying. And it was stressing me out a lot and it was making me uncomfortable on stream. And I thought, people don't deserve to watch this. People deserve to watch something more engaging and more interesting than this. And because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, I always want to be putting out content that I think is really good. I don't want to just put something out there for the sake of it. So I was like, oh, what am I going to do about this? Oh, and also, doing a Twitch stream takes 2 nights out of my schedule because I was spending the Wednesday night doing the sketch on my iPad in order to stream for 2 hours on the Thursday night. So it's 2 nights of my week. And I was like, do I really want to spend 2 nights a week on something that I'm not really enjoying because I don't think I'm that good at it, something that I'm kind of embarrassed about, something that I'm dreading? Would I rather spend 2 nights a week on that, or not do that thing anymore and just spend the time on YouTube videos or on making new art or on a shop update that I've been meaning to do for about 6 months? And yeah, so I had to come to the kind of difficult decision to just be like, I'm just not going to do Twitch anymore. And that was super hard for me to do and to announce because, like I said, I'm a perfectionist and I've always been a bit of a boffin, a bit of a nerd, a bit of a overachiever in life, and doing something like quitting to me is unacceptable. And having to be like, yeah, I'm just giving up on this thing that I was doing was super hard, and I was embarrassed about that. I was embarrassed and I was like, people are gonna think that I didn't try hard enough, they're gonna think that I'm a quitter, they're gonna think, oh, she just jumped on that bandwagon of Twitch streaming and now she can't hack it. But everyone's been super lovely about it. People have been sending me DMs saying, please don't apologise, we just want you to be happy and we just want you to like have fun with what you're doing. And to those people, I appreciate you so much. I honestly have the best followers and subscribers in the world. People say to me, I can't believe you don't have more subscribers. And that's not me humble bragging. People say that to me frequently. I can't believe you don't have more subscribers / followers / whatever. And honestly, I would rather have the amount of followers and subscribers that some might say is a small amount. I think it's quite a large amount. I would rather have that number because of how awesome you all are and have you all be lovely than have twice the amount and some not very nice people slip through and have to deal with that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather have... It's quality over quantity. That's what I'm trying to say. And that's exactly how I'm feeling about my art at the minute as well, and all of the sort of platforms that I'm on is quality over quantity. So, I mean, if there's one thing to take away from this huge ramble is if you find that you're being pulled in all different directions and you feel like you don't really have time for things, or you feel like the things that you are doing you're not enjoying, reevaluate what it is that you're doing, how many platforms you're on, and just see if you can just hone it in to maybe one or two. So I think what I'm going to do now is focus primarily on Instagram and YouTube and really go hard and really work hard at making them the best that they can possibly be, rather than having Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, rather than having all that stuff going on. Just focus on the two things, because yeah, I tried doing it all and I failed, but failure's okay, because when you fail you learn what you can do better and also what not to do next time. So yeah, so this has been a whole big ramble about my life, I guess, my life and my anxieties and my failures. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed listening to this voiceover. Like I said, you all missed it last time, so I hope this has made up for it. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this helps someone who's maybe going through the same thing. If you have social anxiety, it's okay. People aren't going to kill you, mostly. And going back into the office isn't as horrible as it sounds. And if you are doing too many things, it's okay to quit something. So yeah, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me a tiger emoji if you got this far. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!